when we're on a job like that, Chris, you have to be really careful. I don't like when we go on estimates like that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, first off, whenever I see quality of work like that, where I see lines just kind of hanging, and he's telling me, oh, my electrician's older and he's semi-retired, something is up. Whether it's money, either they didn't pay, and they want a new electrician come in, but that was strange. But lesson to you today.
Yep.
What did you learn today, Chris?
I learned about environmental hazards and never to trench in grounds where there's gas lines because it's hazardous.
Well, okay, so hazardous locations, meaning like on the extreme side of a hazardous location is like a Superfund site, right?
Yeah.
Where they have these old chemicals that are banned, right? That are controlled, but they're banned. And companies used to use those in their production, like PCBs.
Okay.
Different volatile. There's non-volatile and there's volatile compounds, right? Organic compounds.
Okay.
And if you go to like a junkyard, if you go to like a big quarry, if you go to where there's a big open kind of field, like scrap yards,
Like we were today.
Exactly. Your first concern is if they want you to trench. If they want you to trench, that's when you shut it down. You're like, look, we can't trench.
Yeah.
You guys trench.
Yeah.
Okay. You handle that. You get the permit for that.
Yeah.
And you do the mark out. You do all that, and we'll just lay the conduit in and pull the wire.
Yeah,
but
it's
that
not worth it.
But that run was so long, you're gonna have to put in handholds.
What's a handhole?
So a handhole is where we would run. You would run underground, obviously, right? Like a 2.5-inch conduit.
Yeah. You think that's too big though? Too big pipe?
It is, but it is a big pipe, but it's 100 amp feed, and it's
700 feet.
Yeah, it's 265. Yeah, times 3. So yeah, it's like about 1,000 foot when you're all said and done.
Yeah.
Right. And there's no way you can pull that far, so you're gonna have to put a handhole in. So a handhole. The simplest ones would be if you were to dig deep enough and you run your conduit in to a hole you would dig.
Yeah.
Then you could put like this preformed device in where it has no bottom.
Okay.
And it will just slip right down, and there'll be openings in the side for your conduits.
Yeah.
Or you can 90 up into the bottom of the conduit.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember we did that at Foster Wheeler? Remember for the floor heating or the outside heating?
Right.
Remember the conduits came up into that handhole, that box?
Yeah.
And it's just dirt under. That's a handhole.
Okay.
So when we could pull the wire to that location and then either splice it there or continue pulling it, most likely that we'd end up splicing it there.
How many handholes do you need for like 1,000 foot run underground?
It all depends on the topography. It depends if it's smooth. That all depends, Chris.
Yeah.
Depends on how big, what size wire. But I would say rule of thumb is every 250 feet would be a handhole application, right?
Okay.
So you got to plan on at least 2 handholes, right? So 250 handhole, 250 handhole, and then the load.
Yeah.
So. And then they do the trenching because we don't know what's involved in that trenching.
Right.
So again, what did you learn today?
I learned that, do not trench when there's environmental hazards.
Do not trench if there's the possibility of environmental hazards, okay? And be careful of the company that calls you out and you see unfinished electric work, you see things, other solutions that you can see, and they're just like, no, we're only going to be here, we're temporary. That's a big red flag to us. But listen, so it's Garrett Henderson,
Andy the Sparky,
on another one.
on the
See you
call.
on the next one.